All
So
right.
thank you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Steph, take it away.
Yes. Okay. I'll still read it. Oh, but no, thank you guys for being here. Happy Thursday. We are super excited to get the spring semester up and going. Um, there has been some changes, so I do see a few familiar faces, and we see a lot of new faces. So for the newbies, everything you hear today will be new for you. But for those who are returning, we're excited to talk to you guys about the changes, starting with this first one, which is to break out the training sessions, to design training sessions specifically for the coaching role. So this training is specific to the group coach. If you guys have any questions at any point, please do not hesitate to stop us or drop it in the chat. Reading the chat lets us know that we're all here for, you know, the right reasons. That it's good to see passionate people. With being a group coach, you'll be leading the session. So I get excited knowing that we have, a great reflection and a great extension of people who are serving as group coaches to lead the students. So thank you all for that. I am Steph Crosley. I am one of the program managers for Money Coach, and I'm in my 6th year with Secure Futures. And I absolutely, what keeps me coming back is just the impact, like knowing that what we're doing is making a difference. Really pushes us to make sure we're putting together a quality program. So I'm excited, and we'll learn more about the program. I'm going to pass it over to Kiana.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kiana Ayala, the other program manager for Money Coach. This week, I celebrated my 1-year anniversary at Secure Futures. Yes, thank you. And over this past year, I have just been so fortunate to see how this program has impacted the students, and kudos to all the coaches that have helped the students along the way. That's probably my favorite part, just seeing the relationships that form between the coaches and the students. So thank you all for joining us today, and I look forward to working with you all.
All right. Are you sharing your screen, Key?
Yep. All right, can everyone see my screen? It should be the presentation.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. All right, so in addition to Steph and myself, we also want to familiarize y'all with some other of our coworkers that you may receive communications from. Why don't we start with Maria, since she's already on the call? If you want to unmute yourself and go ahead and give a quick little introduction.
Yeah, thanks. Hello, everybody. I'm Maria Fuller. I'm the volunteer manager here at Secure Futures. I've been here since September, so just about 4 months. So I'm still learning. It's really nice to see everybody's faces. You probably get a lot of my emails, so I'm just grateful to be here.
Thanks, Maria. In addition, we have Kristen Rule, who is the program director. She oversees all programming under the Secure Futures umbrella. So you may from time to time get some emails from her. And then also Felicia Fluker, who is the program associate. She helps us with a lot of the behind the scenes logistical things with the program. All right, so as we mentioned, this semester we are doing training differently. It will be broken down into 2 portions. The first one being today's group coach training, and then there will be a general training on Saturday, this Saturday and next Saturday. If you are a returning coach that have volunteered within the past year or so, the general training is optional for you. You are encouraged to join if you would like. But for today's training, the objective is for us to provide you with a general understanding of your role and responsibilities as a group coach, and we will give you the tools that you need to be successful.
Yeah, so before we get into Money Coach, because Money Coach is an extension of Secure Futures, just want to give a brief overview of Secure Futures. And our mission at Secure Futures is to empower teens through financial education. We offer 3 programs. We have our Money Sense program, and that's our core program. With that program, we've served really a lot of students throughout Wisconsin, a little bit into Illinois. It's volunteer led or it can be teacher led. And then there's our Money Path program, which is our technology-based program. And Jennifer, I'm going to pick on you. Jennifer is also on our staff at Secure Futures. She's new to her role, but Jennifer, if you want to jump on and say a little bit more about Money Path, here's your light to shine.
Thanks, Steph, for throwing me out there now. I'm Jennifer Andreas. I'm happy to be here. Like Maria, we started on the same day, so we've been here about 4 months. My role as business development consultant is to expand the Money Path program, not only through the state, but as we take that nationwide. And that tool really is, like Steph said, it's a financial planning software tool for teens. It gives them a realistic plan for whatever career path they're going to take after high school. And I say real path because I think it's one of the only tools out there that truly does not give them a simulation and throw a bunch of what ifs at them, but it's for them to really set the course for what life's going to look like, and hopefully maybe be that starter conversation piece with their families about how they're going to afford, life after high school and all of that. So excited to be here to see students in action. Money Path is part of Money Coach, and it's just great for me to see our programs in action. So as I go and promote Money Path with different districts and schools to give them a better understanding of how kids respond to our programs.
Thank you, Jennifer. And Jennifer is on the call because Jennifer is volunteering as a group coach for the Money Coach program. So we're super excited to have her. And as she mentioned, the cool thing about Money Coach is it does encompass all of our programs. So we do include different tools and resources from Money Sense. We have a session designated specifically to Money Path, and then we have Money Coach. So what is Money Coach? I am going to let Kiana break it down for you.
All right, so Money Coach is our financial literacy mentorship program. It takes place over 11 weeks. Those 11 weeks consist of 6 group sessions and 5 one-on-one check-ins. The one-on-one check-ins happen during the weeks in between the group sessions, because group sessions will happen every other week. Programming will start around mid-February and will end around early May. Students that participate in Money Coach walk away with these 3 takeaways: learning how to track their expenses, walk away with a budget, and if they don't have one already, they walk away with a bank account. Participating in Money Coach is a voluntary experience. We do work with the site partners to recruit students for the program, and they do need consent from their parent or legal guardian to participate, but it's ultimately up to them as far as how much they walk away with this experience. While in the program, students can earn up to $350 in scholarships. How that works is we attach financial incentives to everything that we ask of the students. So that includes meeting with their coach, attending group sessions, and completing assignments, paperwork, things of that nature. To help you in this role, we have created the Money Coach Handbook, which will have all the information you need to be successful in this role. It will include tips, best practices, overview of the program, as well as weekly breakdowns of all of the sessions. You want to talk about time commitment?
So as a volunteer, we know the time commitment is really important for you all to know ahead of time. So as Kiana said, it's an 11-week program. We have group sessions every other week throughout that 11 weeks. 6 of those dates are group sessions, and those sessions last 1 hour in length, okay? There are a few sites that, because of how the school is set up, it may be a few minutes under 60 minutes. But for the most part, up to 60 minutes in length, in which you're facilitating. And then, we like to incorporate an hour or so for prep time and 30 minutes to an hour, just so you can familiarize yourself, plan for that lesson. So you're as comfortable as you could possibly be. So with prep time, with the 6 hours of training, we are looking at roughly maybe 10 hours or so in volunteer time. We do ask that all coaches attend orientation, and orientation is 1 week prior to the first session in most sites, but we'll get you orientation dates once we have all the sites confirmed. You should have received an email from me yesterday with all of our current sites, the dates and the time. And what we need you to do is just, identify which date and time, which site works best for you, so we can make sure that we're utilizing you to the best of your capacity. And with the time commitment and with the world that we're in right now, we know that COVID is real, life is real, and it's happening. So if at any point you have anything come up and you have to miss a session, or you already have a vacation planned, there's ways around that. You don't, like, if you look at the site and you're like, oh, I'm going to miss this date, so I can't do that site, but the rest of the dates work the best for me. Don't let that deter you from selecting that site. Just let us know. So let your designated program manager know. So it's either going to be myself or Kiana, and either we'll step in or one of the one-on-one coaches will step in for you. We believe in teamwork, so know that you do have a team around you that you're working with. We all have the same purpose, which is to, promote the students and empower the students. So if anything does come up, please just let us know ahead of time.
Okay, so as a group coach, your main responsibility is to teach the students the various lessons that we have. So what I want to show really quickly. Okay. Are you still able to see my screen? You should see the coach handbook right now. Okay. So in the handbook, we have a section specifically for weekly guides. So this is what you will use to kind of help structure your lessons. So it will kind of break down how much time you should spend on each section. It will include links, like if you have to give a presentation of some sorts, the links will be included. And then it'll also at the bottom have action steps. It is very important to take some time at the end of the session to go over these action steps with the students. So if you have to cut your lesson a little bit short, that's okay. One-on-one coaches could go over whatever information that you wasn't able to, but it's very important that you take time to clearly communicate to the students what is expected of them after the group session. So it will have instructions that you can give for the assignments. It will have reminders of enrollment paperwork, things of that nature. At the start of each session, you want to make sure that you set aside some time to check in with the students about the Money Coach portal. I believe on the next slide, or maybe in our next section of the training, we will go into more depth about what the Money Coach portal is. But this is basically like the one-stop shop of everything Money Coach related. So you want to take some time, kind of walking the students through the portal. You want to make sure that everyone is able to log into the portal, because that's how they're going to be able to access materials. If you notice that students are having problems with the portal, or if you yourself are having problems, you want to refer them to either Steph or myself. Again, as I mentioned earlier, making sure that you cover the action steps, budget enough time for that. And just to reiterate the program takeaways, these are kind of like the big pillars of the program. So making sure that the students open up their bank account, making sure that the students understand how to track their expenses, how to fill out that expense tracker spreadsheet, and they understand what a budget is and how to make one. So these are kind of like the things that you want to keep referencing throughout all of the group sessions to make sure that students fully understand those concepts.
All right, before we get into group session breakdown, do we have any questions from anyone? All right, we're just coasting through. My type of training, no, but the group session breakdown, this really just gives you an overview of what to expect by week. So we have Banking 101. That's one of the sessions we take for Money Sense. So some of you may have volunteered for Money Sense already, so you're familiar with that Prezi presentation. So it'll be really easy for you to just adjust and present to the Money Coach students. We have a session designated specifically for expense tracking and budgeting. We have a Money Path. And this will actually be new for those of you who are returning even from last semester, the fall semester. Money Path, we will present in small groups, okay? And the way that will work, and I wanna break down, I wanna make sure I don't confuse anyone, because we do have several sites in which group coaches will be in person. And we did highlight those sites or make reference to those sites in the email that I sent. And then the rest of our sites, predominantly MPS sites, group coaches will remain virtual, okay? So I'm gonna explain how Money Path works for both, in both worlds, I guess. So in the virtual setting, we will break out into small groups virtually. And a Zoom link will break out into breakout rooms. And then the one-on-one coach and the group coach, you all will have a small group of students that you'll go through Money Path with, okay? Our goal this semester is to, and this is a change too, for those of you who are returning, we have decreased the size of students that we're accepting into the program by site, except for if you're at Teens Grow Greens and HAPA, okay? Those sites, we know for sure we have a set number of students that we know we're gonna work with, but the rest of our sites, we're looking to recruit between 8 to 12 students. Our goal this semester is to keep it intimate so we can maximize or increase the quality of the program. One thing we didn't want to do is try to reach as many students, and we lose quality for quantity. That's what we did not want to do. So we're hoping to have a smaller, intimate group this semester. So for Money Path, we'll break out into even smaller groups, so we can really connect with those students and really make sure they have what they need, and they're walking away with the information they need. And then with in the in-person session, now this will vary. It won't vary. This is how we're presenting it. Okay. The group coach will serve as the active adult in the room that's making sure each student is set up in their Zoom rooms and support the students as they're in their small groups. Okay. Does anyone have any questions in regards to the role the group coach plays in Money Path? Because I know I explained two different ways, and that's because we're working with two different systems. No. Okay, and you don't have to, like right now, we want to give you an overview, but we'll provide more detail when we're closer to that date too. So you don't have to remember every single thing we say in training in regards to, the group's breakdown. Will be available throughout the semester. We'll follow up with you all as it relates to what that looks like. I'm sorry, Kim, can you go back? Oh. So, and then the next session, so we broke To Your Credit, which is another lesson we pulled from Money Sense. We broke that out into two parts. We are actually taking out of we're taking out the Build Your Own lesson. So it's specifically To Your Credit. And we want to carve in time, and we'll talk about this with best practices in facilitating the group. We want to make sure we carve in time, we have enough time for you all to make the connections you need as a group coach to set the tone, to connect with the students. So if that's a check-in question like Kiana presented to you all before we got started, then you have a little time allotted for that. You also have some time to go over those action steps at the bottom of the page. You also have time to check in with students as it relates to the Money Coach portal. And then the final session, the future budget and the program wrap up, the one-on-one coaches this year, and this is another change, coaches. One-on-one coaches are only required to attend orientation, money path, and the final session. Excuse me, the wrap-up session. Okay? They're 100% virtual. One-on-one coaches are 100% virtual. And again, they're only required to attend orientation, money path, and the wrap-up. So as you're planning, as you're prepping for the next session, understand that coaches, one-on-one coaches will not be there to support, but myself or Kiana will be present in that call.
Okay, so the next two slides go more in depth about what each group session covers. So the first one, banking one-on-one, you will be giving a Prezi presentation. And this is also the lesson where you will introduce the expense tracker to the students. This right here is what the expense tracker will look like. So making sure that you give students instructions on how to fill it out. Just FYI, I know there was some confusion amongst the students about this last semester, but they should start tracking their expenses underneath month 1. I know that last semester they thought that the number represented the month. So for November, they tracked their expenses under month 11, but we want them to start for number 1 and then so on and so forth. And then reminding them to open up a bank account and submit their enrollment paperwork. The second group session will have an in-class activity, which is Tiffany's budget. It kind of gives them practice on how to track their expenses, how to write up a budget. And then at the end of the lesson, you will introduce them the monthly budget assignment. Both of those assignments will be due at the end of week 4. So reminding students to submit that in the Money Coach portal once they're done. Steph already went over what Money Path will look like. FYI, there is Test Drive Digital, which is an optional assignment that you can go over with students. It's kind of like a simulation where I think they're 25 years old, they get a mock career, a mock budget, and then kind of have to balance their budget within the month. So another opportunity for them to get real life experience, but it is optional. Then next, for the 4th and 5th session, it will be the 2-year credit lesson. So you do have those 2 sessions to facilitate that lesson. That is another Prezi presentation that you'll be giving to the students. During those lessons, there are some in-class activities that you could do. The first one is credit card offers, where you show students 3 different offers and then have them pick which offer that they think is the best. And then for the second half, there is a loan officer activity where they act as if they are trying to apply for a loan. And I think there's a script that goes along with it, kind of like a role play situation right there. Then the optional activity that goes with this lesson is for students to just talk to somebody about credit. So it could be their uncle, their parents, family friend, anyone they know that has credit or has had a credit card, just for them to kind of get some real life experience information related to that. Then the last group session will be a program review, where you go over everything that was covered, and then walking the students through creating a future budget for themselves. There are 3 different budgets that students could pick from. It's dependent on where they are at their life. So it could be for college, it could be for work, or if they are underclassmen, it could be like a high school budget. One thing that I want to remind group coaches to do at every group session is to remind students to check in with their coach and to track their expenses. Tracking their expenses, again, is one of the pillars of the Money Coach program. And this is the assignment that they do work on from the start to the end of the program. So making sure that we're reminding students to work on that. and, you know, meeting with their coaches, being in this program, having that mentorship component is a big highlight of the program. Students will not be able to gain all that they can if they're not meeting with their coaches. So giving them the extra reminders really helps the one-on-one coaches when it comes to scheduling their check-ins. Any questions about the group sessions, the topics that will be covered?
I just want to note that I feel like I never have enough time in the 2-year credit lessons.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons we took out the build your own, like no pressure on coaches to try to, you know, include that 30 minutes or 20 minutes of additional information. So hopefully, Tabitha, I can't promise you, but hopefully you're able to get through both sessions within those two, or both lessons within those 2 days.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, and then also in the event that you aren't able to cover all of the material, reach out to one-on-one coaches, letting them know where you left off, and then they will be able to cover the remaining information during their check-ins.
And just to add to, students will have, our goal is to make sure that all students are on their individual Chromebooks. If you're in the virtual setting, but in the same breath, we will provide hard copies to all students, whether they're virtual or in person, of Tiffany's budget, of 2-year credit, and of MoneyPath. So they will have physical copies just in case it's better for them to work, you know, pen and pad. So you will have hard copies of that. You won't have, I mean, we'll make sure that the site partner has them and distributes them when necessary. So no added pressure for you, but just so you know that physical copies will be available. All right, so technology use. We've talked to site partners already, and well, the new site partners, and we have a site partner training on our calendar to make sure we go through our technology needs with site partners. So if you're in person, you should have access to a laptop, the internet, and a projector, because as we mentioned, there will be some Prezi presentations, MoneyPath, and other things you'll have to demonstrate. You will have access to that. So you should not have to bring any extra material with you in regards to technology. For those of you who will be virtual, make sure you're familiar with Google Meet or Zoom. We leave that up to our site partners to determine what works best for their site. And just so you know, if you don't need a Google email to access a Google Meet. And also, if you're using your work email, one thing that we found is that a lot of jobs block the Google Meet, and we can't send out those the links. So just make sure that, or try to, you know, if that is the case, just make sure we have a personal email on file for you so we can get that information to you. If you're presenting virtually, just make sure, you know, you're able to share your screen, because you would do this screen share in the virtual setting. And yeah, if you come across this technology, you're like, wait, I don't have any experience using this, let us know ahead of time so that we can prep you as much as we can. Again, our goal is always to make sure you have what you need to be successful. Kiana did mention a few times about the Money Coach portal. As she mentioned, this is our one-stop shop, everything Money Coach. This is where our students go if they're missing any assignments, if they're missing material, if they miss a session because they're out sick, or, you know, whatever the case may be, they can go to the portal, they can review the material that was presented. Students can, this is where students will upload their assignments. As a group coach, you will have access, or you'll be able to see what the students see. You won't have to do too much of anything within the portal, but just so you can familiarize yourself with the portal and you can assist students when it's necessary, we want to make sure you have a clear view of what the Money Coach portal looks like. Last semester, we introduced it. We did run into a few hiccups. This semester, we are really pushing it. So we want to refer to students, we want to refer coaches for material, for submissions of assignments. Students, one-on-one students, students will submit their assignments and their one-on-one coaches will receive notification and they'll have access to view it and email the students back via the portal. So there's a lot of cool things that we do within the portal. And we want to keep it, we want to keep those things housed in one place. So I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see what it looks like. And then again, if you have questions, let us know, please. All right, so this is the Money Coach portal, okay? The students won't, well, they will have access to that. They won't be able to view other submissions, but they'll be able to view their own. The most important thing is right here, these group sessions. So it's broken down week 1 all the way through 11. Every session has its own breakdown and material and everything that's needed. So in case, you know, you no longer have the link, it's not on your calendar, or you can't find the email in which, you know, we have the link included. If you go to the portal, you click on, you know, whatever the respective week or the respective session, it'll have a link to that site, okay? So if you are virtual, if you were supposed to be in person and there was you know, we know that life is shifting. So one day we'll be working from home, the next day we'll be in our office. We never know. But if that is the case and we're rooted back to, you know, no visitors allowed in schools, the link that you'll need to access that classroom will be within, will be under or in the Money Coach portal under the session that you're in. And again, so you'll just go to your session will only be. So if you're a Rufus King group coach, you'll only see Rufus King here. I'm an admin, so I get to see all the sites that I'm assigned to. The session guides are within this session as well. Tips for working with Money Coach files and activities, expense tracker and budgeting. You can always refer students back to the Money Coach portal because again, this is where the information is. Let me go back. And I'm just gonna go through so you guys can see how it works.
Steph, while you're doing that, you probably may answer this already. Are the user guides in the sessions themselves or are they separate?
They're in the sessions, within the session.
Thank you.
You're talking about, let me go back, Robert. So here, and then the session, are you talking about the weekly sessions like this?
Yep.
Yep, so they're broken into whatever, you know, wherever that session lines.
Thank you.
No problem. And again, all the links within that needs to be used within that session are embedded in that weekly guide. So you'll all have access to that. If you're a returning coach from fall semester, your credentials should still work, okay? If you're a new coach, we'll get you set up. You will receive, and this is once we get you all assigned to your appropriate group, you'll receive an email from Chapters Vitamin or Chapter Vitamins, and it will, you know, walk you through or provide you instructions with how to set up that account. But yeah, we want you guys to take some time every session. Hey, students, were you able to access your Money Coach portal? Any questions? And again, if you can't answer the questions, just jot them down, or you know, either we'll be there to help, but we want to make sure that we're really pushing the Money Coach portal. We're really leading students to making sure they have their accounts active. We ran into a lot of that last semester where, you know, a lot of our students didn't sign into the Money Coach portal, but we didn't place a huge emphasis on it last semester because it was our trial run. But this semester we are moving forward. And again, we are pushing it. So again, make sure you embed time. One-on-one sessions, just so you guys can see what this looks like. Students will come here. This is a mandatory question. This, you know, just really reminds them, like, did you meet with your one-on-one coach? No. Oh, so now you have to, and the system will allow them to go back once they meet with the coach and change that answer. But again, it's to remind them that you have some important things to do. So make sure you meet with your coach. And then also embedded in this is for one-on-one coaches, but just so you guys can see, we do provide coaches with some questions and some guidance for how to facilitate that one-on-one session. And then, you know, what to, you know, things to consider within that one-on-one session. So yeah, this is the Money Coach portal. You'll all have access to it. Play around with it and you know, ask whatever questions you may have. The cool thing about the portal, you know, the students can see their progress within the program and see how much, you know, they've actively participated or interacted with the system and how much each week, you know, so it really guides them. Okay. Any questions in regards to the portal? No? All right.
All right, so next up, we're going to talk about some best practices for being a group coach. The first one, you know, making sure that you're prepped and ready to go for facilitation. So having whatever links or documents, presentations that you need already open to kind of help you better navigate through them. Steph mentioned this earlier. We are going to ask that all the students log in on their own laptop. We noticed that it helps a lot with engagement for those virtual sessions. So, you know, utilizing that chat to, you know, ask some poll questions, things of that nature. During your presentation, you want to make sure that you're asking check-in questions throughout. You know, if you just spend the whole 60 minutes just talking at the students, chances are they're going to zone out sometime during you talking. So you want to take moments to stop, check in to see if they understand the material, see if they have any questions. And then again, that kind of helps with the engagement as well. Oops, wait, I advanced too far ahead. Next, some site partners have mentioned that they're okay with you calling on students straight up, like, hey, Jennifer, what's the answer to this question? Or, hey, Robert, what do you think about this? You know, again, that kind of helps with the engagement. Site partners are all for that and have encouraged us to do so. You know, utilize your own past experiences as learning opportunities. That really helps with building rapport amongst the students, letting them know about the mistakes you made in the past and how you learned from it. You know, we've all been 16 at one point in our lives. You know, we all been through high school. So, you know, pull on those past experiences to kind of bond and connect with the students. If you are new to Money Coach, talk to some of our returners that have done this for some semesters for tips and tricks on how they have been successfully able to facilitate lessons. Last and certainly not least, try your best not to get frustrated. Try not to get discouraged. You know, man, these past couple of years have been a doozy, you know, to say the least. And students are trying their best to learn in this new virtual setting. You know, I think I took maybe one online class in college, so I can't even imagine what it's like to take a whole semester. So, you know, the impact that we might envision in our minds might not be what it plays out in actuality. So, you know, be patient with yourself. utilize Steph or myself to support you if you do come across any obstacles. That's what we're here for. But just regardless, when students are participating in the program, they are walking away with something. Again, it might not be how we envisioned it in our minds, but they are getting some type of knowledge and some type of education while being a part of Money Coach. So, be kind to yourself during this experience. Steph, anything you want to add for best practices?
I would just say, have fun. Have fun, enjoy the ride. When we talk about quality of program, we understand that we're in business for the students, but we're all a team. The students are a prime target, but just as much as we need the students in order to serve them, we need coaches, we need our volunteers, and you guys hold such an important role in the success of this program. So we care about, providing you a quality experience. So have fun, share your story, show your personality. Because we all know school is school. We know school is school, right? So this is in addition, this is something more for the students to do. So let's, just make the best of it. Make the best of it and enjoy. I thought Tim LaBelle was on, but he's not. But Tim is, he's really big on using Kahoots with the students. It's a polling app, and they can it's like a quick sign on because they're all on Chromebooks, but I've noticed that it did increase engagement. So if you guys are not familiar with Kahoots or a polling site, Google it, look it up, and try to embed that within the programming. We're really trying to increase engagement, especially in this virtual setting, because we know virtual burnout is real, but it's been a reality for so many of us. So just make the best of it. And if you need any pointers, you need any added support, we're here for that.
I think I have a quick question. If there are any best practices just with regards to the polling and engagement, for example, I don't know if any volunteers or if anyone at Secure Futures has pre-built out some Kahoot questions that we could just tap into, or if other volunteers are creating their own questions. I would be curious if there are any good ideas there, because I do love the idea.
Yeah, so we haven't built out anything. Again, we've just observed it in a site or two with coaches who came up with it on their own, and we're like, hey, that's actually something cool. And one thing that the coach did, Tim LaBelle, he kind of once he was done facilitating that lesson, it was like, okay, pop quiz. Okay, so students, why do we track our expenses? And then give them those 3 options, and kind of have fun, allow students to create. I think they use animals, or their emoji was an animal. So it was just a little fun way to tie it all in. But I could reach out to him and see if he has those preloaded and share them with the group.
That would be awesome.
Got it. So what you're looking at now, these are all of our available sites. Yeah, so these are all of our available sites. The sites that are bolded are the sites that will be in person, along with Carmen Northwest and South. We just got that, and that location. So that's the combined site, and it will take place at Carmen South, but the Northwest students will join virtually. So it's a bit of a hybrid. This will be our first time doing it, but we're open to what works best for the site itself. So, but these are all of the sites. If you have not already sent me over your top 2 choices, please do so. The quicker we can get as many coaches to provide us what works best for them, the better. And our goal is to reach out to you all next week, connecting you with your teammates and your site partner.
So Steph, I have a question. This is Bob Lyons.
how many, like, there might be one or two that I might not be able to make. So I really don't want to sign up if I can't fulfill, all the group coach obligations. But is that happen that you're willing to fill in somebody else on one or two at the most, or how do you feel about that?
Yes, so that has happened and that will continue to happen. So Bob, we are prepared for it. In our one-on-one sessions, we did already talk to coaches about stepping up and stepping in just in case something like this happens. And then of course, myself or Kiana will fill in. That's not a rare thing. So again, like choose the site that works best for you, Bob, and we'll adjust because you know what dates that you may miss. Just let us know ahead of time so we can plan ahead.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks.
Any other questions? No. All right. So, we're super excited to have everyone. Some of the main changes, you won't have as much support from your one-on-one coaches because one-on-one coaches are not required to be at every session. So prepare for that. But on the flip side, group sizes will be a lot smaller unless you're at a HOPA or Teens Go Greens. Money Coach Portal is something that we're really pushing. And we want you guys to make this your own. Like make this your own session. Every group is unique. So, we never try to run every session the same way because the students at one site has totally different needs from a student at another site. That's what we do know. So get to know your students. I always say, like, we push financial literacy. That is our mission. That is absolutely our mission. It gets us through the door. But the one thing about Money Coach is when students experience Money Coach and they actually complete the program, they walk away with other meaningful skill sets that they can apply to other aspects of their life. So that's, that relationship building component. That's one of a part of our program that makes our program unique. Yes, the one-on-one coaches really do make a huge difference, but your role as a group coach makes an even bigger difference because that's what, week by week, it's keeping the students engaged and it's connected with the students. That's a huge part. It's making sure students know how to communicate. They know how to communicate, that they're being responsible. They're turning in things when they need to, when they're supposed to. They're being held accountable. So when we think of Money Coach, yes, our mission is financial literacy, but we do tackle other areas, a lot of soft skills too. So again, remember these are high school students, juniors and seniors, some sophomores. So don't be some of you guys may have some 16 or 17-year-olds. We know how they are. We know how. We're all about accountability, but we know that sometimes some students need that extra push.
Yes, this is Tabitha. So did I hear right? So if it's virtual, everybody's going to be on their own Chromebook with their own camera, but at school, they'll be at school or they'll be at home.
So it depends. So MPS schools are in session now. So
right.
If schools are in person, they will they'll still meet in a classroom, but they will be on individual Chromebooks.
Oh, okay. All right. No, because I just wanted to know if the students are at home. I know, like at first I was hoping that they would all turn their camera on so I could get to, see them and stuff like that. But then somebody brought it up to me and it really made me think, like, don't be so pushy on them turning their camera on because not everybody has, a good home environment and things like that, that they want to share. So I just wanted to put that out there and just clarify what it'll look like if they'll be at school or at home.
Absolutely. Good point, Tabitha. Yeah, but we actually cover that. We're covering that on Saturday, but that is a great point. Between home life and school, like with schools, we do hammer on like turn your cameras on so coaches can be familiar with who you are. It makes the interaction a little bit more better. But in the home, you never know what's going on or what they don't want to show. So, yeah. All right, Tabitha, I did get your email. Thank you. If you guys did not email me, make sure you email me. Let me know what site you want to be at, so I can make sure I put you at the best site for you. Yeah, so that's all we have. Kiana, anything you want to add to?
No, I would just be basically repeating everything that you said at this point. Just again, thank you all for signing up to be a coach this semester. I look forward to working with you all.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a great rest of your week.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.